I would have to say that was an interesting video of Oprah's reaction to that.
Raven Symone?
Yeah, she was just like in shock that somebody would take that stance. I don't think that's a very controversial stance. I think it makes a lot of sense. And it
does.
It is a bold thing to say.
Hold on, but you got to explain for people who haven't seen the video. Raven just basically says, I'm an American. I don't like labels. I'm not African American. I'm just American.
Right.
Well, and she even doubled down on it a little and said, well, look, I don't know how far back my roots go. I don't really know where they go. But I know I've got roots in Louisiana. So she's basically saying, I don't actually even know if I come from Africa. So why would I call myself African American? But I know I come from Louisiana, so I'm just American. Yeah. So she wasn't even saying like, oh.
And it was during a question about like her relationship. She is gay, but she went into this whole thing about no labels. Like I'm a human being who loves human beings and is an American.
Yep. Yeah. What's the big deal? I don't call myself a European American. I know that's where my roots come from, but they come from all over. I could be like, yeah, I'm an English/German/French/Spanish American. It would just be stupid.
Yeah. It's easier to say American.
Yeah, I live here. I have my whole life.
I think it's a pride thing for some people. Like, I know my heritage, like, I don't call myself a Dutch American, but usually when people ask, you're like, oh, what is Vanderploeg? Like, what is that? Oh, it's Dutch. I'm actually 100% Dutch. As far as my family can trace back, we're 100% Dutch, blah, 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 blah. Like, so people still pay attention. You know, how many times you hear someone, oh, I'm 15% German, 25% Swedish, and they list off of the pieces of the pie.
How do you get those percentages exactly? How do you get to be 15%? I'm pretty sure.
How do you pay attention that closely?
You can keep cutting a number in half, but I'm pretty sure it's 50, 25, 12.5. I don't think you can get to 15.
No, I agree. I think there's a lot that can be said to knowing your lineage and knowing like about your family and your past and things like that. I think that's cool. I pride myself on like my Spanish heritage and Puerto Rican heritage along with my like Scottish heritage. I think it's really cool. But if somebody's like, what do you mostly connect with? I'd say my American heritage. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what it's like to be Spanish. Because I've never lived in Spain. I've been there, but that doesn't mean I know what it's like to be Spanish. And I think that's what she was getting at. She's like, I don't know what it's like to be African. I know what it's like to be an American woman that has built my career in America. And that's what she was saying. I have really close friends from Africa who I was blessed enough to be able to go visit in Africa, and that I lived with and lived around and worked with for 2 years in America. And one of them made a very strong point to a guy that we met that he's like, we can be friends, we can get along, we can have stuff in common, but don't say that you're African unless you are African. Not just lineage, but like that you've lived there, that you are a citizen of an African country, that you know what it's like to go through African struggles. He's like, there's nothing wrong with identifying yourself with the struggles of African Americans in America. That's part of who you are. But be proud of being American because that's a good thing to be. But he made a distinction. There's a difference between Africans and Americans. And the difference isn't what your color skin is. It's your culture, your socioeconomic outlook. It's completely different. It's a totally different thing that when you think about it in those terms. And I think that's what she was saying. Is like, why label people? I'm not going to be like, well, I have my German / whatever friend Jeremy over here because I'm going to put that label on him because he's different from me.